Welcome, everybody, to All Things Rex. Hello and hello. It is the almost end of 2021. And my guest today is an amazing heart healer. Her name is Kim Lee, and I'll tell you just about her in a moment. You're going to want to stay tuned. You're going to want to hear what Kim has to say. She's helped thousands of people heal their hearts and reclaim their power. So we'll be talking to her in just a moment. But first, every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, we stream live on a variety of channels or platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, and all of these are available in replay on the Roku channel. So, what I would like to do is to have you understand, that you can leave comments in the chat room. You can leave comments in the chat room on the Los Angeles Tribune Facebook page. You can ask questions of my guest from the Los Angeles Tribune page. So, Kim Lee has for over 28 years helped people heal their hearts to reclaim their power, command love and respect so that they thrive in all areas of their lives. And she does this by having them ask deeper questions and explore their inner world. She's a healer. And she says, I'm sorry, I'm getting confusing messages here on the program. I don't know what's going on. So I apologize. I'm having a little bit of technical issues. There we go. What the heck? And it's live, everybody. It is live. No, that's why. There we go. I hope this works. All right, so Kim's 7-step heart activation process includes energy resonance, sound healing, meditation, and she can clear generational trauma. She gets to the heart of the problem by asking deeper questions that allow you and me, each of us, to release stress and overwhelm in all areas of our lives. Kim trained with the world-renowned healer, Dr. Barbara Ann Brennan, and studied with the Zen master and Nobel Peace Prize winner, Thich Nhat Hanh. So without any further ado, we're going to bring Kim on. Hi, Kim. How are you? Oops, I got to unmute you.
Yeah, I'm so happy and excited to be here, Rack. Thank you for having me today.
I'm so happy to have you here today. And, it's a little bit of a rough start, but what better way to close the new year out than to have a little bit of snags and a little bit of issues when it comes to the tech stuff here.
Yes.
So, and whenever I look off screen, I'm actually looking into the chat room. I want to say hi to Scott and Cindy and the other people who are starting to be here. And that's cool. And again, leave comments and ask questions of Kim in the chat room. And we'll try and answer your questions. So, Kim,
yes,
let's start off by first defining what kind of heart healer. What kind of work do you do? What do you address? That with people in terms of healing, so that they can thrive in all areas of their life. What is it that how is it that you work?
Yeah. See, normally I address 5 levels of their being: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and finance. So whenever they come to me, I always ask them what the issue that they are dealing at the moment. So when they share with me information, I got the deep, that's a heart glitch. There's the energy entangled within their heart. Doesn't matter what problem they have. I go straight into the master blueprint that they are dealing in the heart. So when I look deep in the heart, I ask deeper question. I pull up the generational trauma, and with the client permission, I clear that. So when they share with me information, yes. So
wow.
that's.
I'm sorry. So again, there's more technical weirdness going on. So continue, please.
So in that space, when they give me the permission, I activate, it called heart activation. When the heart start open up, when heart, mind in unity, in wholeness, they feel the shift right at that instant activation. Of course, we go into the journey of 90 days to really clear and seal whatever that need to be sealed with the new programming and delete the old identity, and we'll build a new, I call a new divine identity. So when they heal permanently.
Wow. So how
Yes.
that, I mean, that's wonderful, and it is amazing work, and people, all over the world have experienced your healing energy with them. What is it that How is it that you work? Some people, is it a clairvoyant, clairaudient? Is it clairsentient? I mean, is there a
Yeah.
process that you work
So
with?
so for me, my biggest gift is clear audience. I receive information by voice activation, and then from there I will perceive clairvoyant is secondary, but audiences come first, and then clairsentient, and that perceive follow.
Awesome, awesome. So, how you've been doing this for over 28 years? How do
Actually,
you?
28 years is charging my clients, my students, but I've been working as a divorced mom. I practice this art since my children was born. So looking at my children now, my oldest is 37 years old. You can say that how long I've been practicing this art.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, let's talk a little bit about your children. You have something that an upcoming event or something that recently happened for one of your children.
Yes, yes. I'm really to say I'm a proud divorced mom that I raised three healthy, happy, successful young adults. So I'm just sharing with Brack earlier. I'll be going to Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fort Bragg. My son, who graduated from West Point 12 years ago, now he served in the Army. He got promoted to
Wow,
the new level. It's called Major. So we go there for the ceremony for
that
his
that is
promotion.
that is awesome. Congratulations to your son and to you and to all of your family.
Thank you. Thank
Well,
you, Rock.
no, that's exciting. That's exciting. And and then you have two others.
I have two other, my oldest and my youngest. So my oldest is in finance. She's really good with money. She actually owns a house here in San Francisco by the beach.
Uh-huh.
And she lives in Denver, Colorado with her husband and two kids. And my youngest child is very unique. He, she is a transgender. She was born as a boy. Now she come out as a girl, and she thriving. She's an engineer. She
Wow.
fix cars. I don't know much about her work, but I'm really happy and proud that my youngest child, come out authentically to reclaim who she is and thriving. When she came out, that I welcome her. I welcome her, whatever make her happy. So the whole family support her for her journey. So that's something I want to share because some parents probably have issue to accept their children when they come out from their closet of their identity. So I want to add that layer to my work. Thank you, Rack.
No, that's so beautiful because you know I'm constantly in conversations with different people about children and different things, and I'm like, uh, the I think one of the stories that guides me more than anything else is like the prodigal son in the Bible, where
Yes.
somebody went off, they did their thing, but the father was always there with open arms, or the mother, in this case, and that we the kids that we bring in don't necessarily ask to be born. I mean, they may, I mean, depending on what you believe, but the point is, they're gifts to us,
Yes, they are.
and
They
and
are.
and to celebrate them however, whatever, to me it's about unconditional love, and it's sad when in this world when children are disenfranchised from their primary caregivers or their parents. So that's so beautiful. That's really beautiful. To
Actually, I want to share one more thing.
Sure.
My granddaughter, Phoebe was born with a hole in her heart. She was born June of last year, June 24, and my children was really fearful, and I knew as the master heart healer, somehow instinctively I felt like this is my test. I call myself the master heart healer, and my granddaughter came with this a hole in her heart. I believe in energy healing and prayer. So my children were thinking, have Phoebe have heart surgery? If the doctor tell that she need to have surgery, she must have surgery. So I request my children, yes, you can follow the doctor for surgery, but please do not touch her right now. Her body is young. Wait until she's 6 months, then you can have surgery. So meanwhile, I work whenever she come to visit. I give her sound healing, energy healing. I work with her in silence. By 6 months come, my Phoebe heal her own heart. Now she's a year and a half. Every day religiously, she FaceTime grandma. Even though she didn't speak our language, she would baby talk and give me kisses every day. So that for me, it just I feel really grateful and joy that I believe in my gift of help other heal. So Phoebe is the testament of faith healing. She is her own healer. Each one of us is our own healer, just to have the right teacher, coaches to guide us in their light, and then we gradually reclaim that power within us. I want to add that layer of the gift that Phoebe brings to our family. Thank you, Rack.
Oh no, thank you. You know, I think it's beautiful. I'm so happy you shared that. And what you said when you said, it's my test. Napoleon Hill in his books and Think and Grow Rich, the second chapter essentially talks about his son Blair, who was born without any ears and no hearing
Yes,
apparatus, and said, kind of like, here I am, the mind guy, and suddenly I have this child who has no physical apparatus for hearing. What do I do about that? It's kind of challenged all of my thinking and all of my stuff. He said, well, I've decided that he was going to end up hearing, and so I did everything I could to raise him as a person who could hear and to be normal and to actually look at the fact that he had no ears as an asset, not as a problem. And
yes,
and but I mean, for you to look at it and say, this is an opportunity for me, to
yes.
explore and to assist my family. Just truly.
It's it's always for me. I look at that the soul lessons, whatever happened around within my family with our soul agreement and contract. I look at the opportunity to grow and to evolve because all my children are the left brain people. So for Phoebe to come with that powerful gift, now everybody energy shifted their mind, their heart more in unity now. There's so much love, compassion in our family. I'm really proud to say my children are now in their, early 30 to mid 30. We are like best friends. I'm grateful for that.
It's beautiful.
I would say we have love, respect for each other. We have strong, healthy boundary. So that's something that I have to share.
No, I'm so happy that you did, and it's very, very beautiful that you share it and that you're experiencing that. And again, a lot of people, when they would encounter something, like a child born with a hole in their heart, or a child born without ears, or whatever, it disrupts their normal patterns. They don't know what to do, and I think what you said was um, really insightful and powerful. And that is, if you want to do it, you do it, but give it this amount of time.
Yes, yes. Because before Phoebe have that, actually, I gifted to a lady in Paris. Her son was born with the same symptom, And I gave it to her with free of charge. She was on Facebook asking for prayer that her son have a hole in his heart, and he was too weak, and they gave him the surgery. He lived he lived about 48 days. So from that experience of gifting someone, I was helping, the mom. And from that, I knew that if I encounter this situation, the infant body need to be mature before mankind can cut into the physical heart. So that was a gift that before Phoebe have that, before it's arrived, I've been trained. You see?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's truly beautiful. Now, I do have to say, just because I have to say it, we're not giving medical advice. We're not dispensing any kind of advice for anybody who just happens to be listening. We're not telling anyone what to do. But it is also equally important to understand that so many people can think of themselves well and can heal themselves and or other people. I mean, what the realm of what's possible is truly amazing, and some people don't believe it, and other people truly believe it, and so it ends up being, kind of
It's confusing,
for people,
confusing.
right?
Yes, yeah. So my advice in that space, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving advice, but the intuition that we all have, God-given gift. Listen to our own intuition and take action accordingly to that. Sometimes we didn't make choices. We give our power away to the doctor, the healer, whoever that is. So my invitation is listen to our intuition and take action accordingly. Allow that space of silence to know the truth. And from that, it's not one size fit all. I'm
Right.
just sharing my journey here might be different than your journey out there, but listen to your intuition. That's the best thing that I can say. Thank you, Brack.
Well, and Kim, I think another thing that's really important is that a lot of people do give their power away. They give their power away to all sorts of different things, whether it's the government or religions or their spouse or their children or the bank or the weather, and a lot of them give away their power to doctors because they're educated or they have a degree, when in fact they need to not take it as like, because we have this thing in the United States about following doctors' orders, as if the doctor should order things, orders about, like we're in the military, right? We follow orders, and we aren't. They may have educated medical opinions that we should take under advisement and get second or third opinions, when
Yes,
that kind of thing. But it doesn't make them a god just because they happen to have MD or letters behind them, and so I'm very quick to not want to give my power away to somebody just because they say this is what we will do. And I've gone to doctors and they go, well, we could operate on that. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Now, it might be different if I'm in a life threatening situation, where they say, here's what we need to do in order to save your life. I'm going to go ahead and do it. But if it's not that, I'm going to say, I'm going to check with myself and see if it's okay. Two, I'm going to check other sources and find out if this is the wisest thing. Because the last thing I want to do is be cut if I don't have to be cut. I don't want
yes,
to,
yes.
I mean, why have invasive surgery if wow, my daughter is watching the show. There's my daughter saying love.
How wonderful. How wonderful. Actually, I have similar experience like that, Rack, and the doctor was really furious. So I have the annual exam, and when they look into my uterus, they saw some kind of development there. And the doctor was really fearful. He said, "You need to have operate surgery now." I said, "It's my body," because I refuse to fear that he inject inside of me. So I said, "It's my body. I'm not ready for any surgery, but thank you for your advice." So he brought another doctor in. It was the male doctor, and then he bring the female doctor. They convinced me to have surgery. I said, "It's my body. I know when I'm ready for the surgery." And he said, "If you don't have it now, it will kill you." I refuse to accept that statement. I refuse in that agreement. So anyway, I thank them both. I walk away. And probably 5, 10 years later, when I'm ready, I went in for the surgery, but not at the moment they give me fear. I refuse to accept that energy. To this day, I'm still functioning in that place.
Well, and that's beautiful, and I think that again, for people out there who may be facing things, you have to decide what you have to decide. I think you have to follow your heart. You have to follow, best practices and procedures. But, um, I had another guest on the show, a doctor of psychiatry, and he would be quick to point out that not the prognosis, the diagnosis oftentimes is as much a prison as uh, the illness, because the moment you tell somebody you have this, if the person then goes, oh my God, I have that, they kind of take this ownership of it, and they, whereas they might have other, if the, it all depends on, how people receive the information. And
Yes.
they very much have more complications because of how they receive it than had they been, not having it be a medical pronouncement.
Yes. For me, it's the energy that they give it to me. If he come with kindness, with care, yes, I will listen. But any fear that inject into me, I refuse to in that agreement whenever I'm ready. So with this, it's just whatever that we're going to best to honor us, our wholeness, because doctor they learn in theory in practice but they don't live to that disease to know what best. Well, we all have best intention for our family, our friends, our client, our students, like doctor does, but we are not God. So the decision is always come back to us and our full responsibility. Go get second, third opinion whenever you feel peaceful, you feel really energetically in harmony. Yes, take the action, make that decision, but not to fear. That's something that I always advise my students.
That's awesome. That is beautiful. Um, and this is a very important conversation that could go on for days. Really, I mean, we could continue. But I do want to ask about your background in terms of who you studied with, and how you came to. You've been doing this for longer than 28 professional years, but kind of your journey, because two of the people are pretty darn renowned people, and I know you've studied with others as well, but you studied with. Well, let me have you tell us, Doctor. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So I have many teachers and coaches. The two that I want to give credit to is Dr. Barbara Brennan. She is the world renowned healer. She worked she not start as a spiritual healer. She worked as NASA as a scientist. And then from there her own spiritual evolution developed, and then she become like a massage therapist. As a massage therapist, when she worked with her patient, her client, she see the energy body, she will hear informations, and gradually from there, from become massage therapist, she become the energy healer, and then she would channel the book that to this day is well known as the textbook for us. It's called Hands of Light. If you want to understand more energy healing, you can check out that book. So that Dr. Barbara Brennan, I love and appreciate her. And another teacher is the spiritual leader. Um, I call our Grandmaster Ted Khan. He is peace activist. He's a Vietnamese monk. In terms of his spiritual level, he and Dalai Lama and Bishop Tutu, they are in the same energy frequency in that respect that they receive from us. So I'm grateful for our Grandmaster. The first time I met him when he visiting from France, He came here to the state to give retreat. Every time he finished his retreat, he would go to our temple in Morgan Hill. It's called Kim Seung Monastery. He go there, he give class, he give retreat to us before he go back to France. So when I first met him, I knew our grandmaster have amazing energy blueprint. I said, as I grow up, I want to be like him. So I have the opportunity to learn from him a few times. But my energy, my blueprint, pretty much when I set the intention, that who I become to this day.
Wow, that is truly beautiful. That is beautiful, and how marvelous that you've been able to connect with him. I mean, so many people have followed him or read his materials, or been inspired by his teachings. That the opportunity to meet somebody like that in person is always a wonderful opportunity. Much
Yeah,
different.
it was such an honor to meet him and to know he invoked the divine blueprint in me, my calling, and my intention. So, yeah.
Well, that's very good. Sandra put the Barbara Brennan book up, "Hands of Light," on the chat, and then below, so that people realize your website is kimleehealer.com, and that's scrolling below so that people can reach out to you as they are able to. That would be fantastic. Um, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I would like to talk about your process, the 7-step process, and the different kinds of things that you do to help people, resolve these issues within them, and learn um, to thrive in all areas of their life.
Thank you. It would be my honor to share that.
Oh, that's fantastic! I look forward to it. So, and this is just a brief message from the Los Angeles Tribune. So, everybody, just we'll be back in less than a minute.
Hello and welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune. Since 1886, our name has been a part of the world of journalism. We have earned a reputation for being a publication that practices integrity, authenticity, and responsibility. For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
And we're back, with Kim Lee, a master heart healer. So let's dive into this process of yours a little bit, and how you work with people, or what someone could expect if they come to you. How does the process unfold between that person and you? And do they have to be in your presence, or can it be remote? Or
It's remote. I've been working remote probably 5 or 6 years. So I have clients all over the world. I guess the journey is long distance. I use Zoom. Sometimes if people don't use Zoom, I use FaceTime, whatever the medium that they can access to. So from that, they will share their intention, whatever that they want to heal. And then from that intention, I will look from the 5 level of the beingness, as I shared earlier: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and finance, because these 5 levels actually affect our well-being. If our finance not together, it still affect our heart. Any level of our beingness, if it's not in harmony, heart mind separation, is affect this 5 level of our being. So when I look into the heart, I saw the more like glitch within the heart. When I look deeply in the heart blueprint, and then with my student permission, my client permission, I can go in there with their permission. And whenever they are in my energy presence, they elevate their consciousness. Whatever I hear, I see within my sixth sense, I ask the right question. And since my students, my client consciousness elevated, they will see exactly what I see. And sometimes they travel back in time in their past life, in their generational trauma into the past. And then we clearing all that. And then from that, we'll bring that old identity energy that where the individual lost their power, we call the power back, integrate into the present moment. So the heart, mind, and unity in this space. So the reason people suffer because their energy scatter everywhere, and also generational trauma that we not knowing we carry those blueprints. For instance, scarcity blueprint, fear of money, and also the blueprint in my case were the the woman we didn't have a voice. So like I guess the blueprint was as women, we are culturally trained to give our power away to the person that we are with our partner. So for me to reclaim my power, I gonna clear the generational trauma of the money, and also the let go of the sacred agreement from my ancestor that we have to give our power away to our children, our loved ones. So that's something that I help my student to reclaim their power in that journey. Does it make sense? Does it make sense to
absolutely
you,
does.
right?
Pardon me?
Does it make sense?
It absolutely does. My girl dogs are going to bark here in a second to greet somebody as they go by, so I muted my mic. The I wanted to say yes, it absolutely makes sense. And secondly, I'm so glad that you brought up that there's 5 levels, and one of them is financial, because a lot of people, they somehow get it, but they don't really get it. That is, if they're living from lack or in debt, or they have money issues or stressors, that right there is one mental, I mean, they have
Yes,
it's occupying their thoughts. That has an effect on their body, obviously.
yes,
Their emotions in their body have an effect. So it's this loop that happens, and we're not really separate from the things around us in that regard. Or we can try and compartmentalize things, but it really is this sort of synergistic thing that occurs. Mind and body are one organism. We're not really, people think they have a brain and they have a body as if they're two separate things. But without the body, the brain really isn't much use. And without without the what did I just say? Without the brain, the body isn't much use. And without the body, the brain isn't much use. You can't, they don't work independently of each other.
they don't. They need to be in unity, especially the heart and the mind. When it's unity, you see the individual shift just like that. When I activate with that heart activation, the individual will will shine and thrive. I just want to share just one a phenomenal experience that I witnessed. It's been 3 years ago. A friend of mine, we were at the retreat, and she cannot walk almost a decade. The doctor gave up on her. They said, you have physical imbalance, nothing we can do about it. You have to live with it for all your life. She's probably in her mid 50s. And then when I was at the retreat, I graced a lot of my classmates to heal. And then she came to ask my name, Kim Lee, are you the healer? Are you Kim Lee? I say, yes. You have to help me walk. Otherwise, I cannot fly home to Canada. It's just like you see the desire, the power of desire to heal was so strong. So I heard my spirit guide, yes, grace her, bless her. So when we have a break, I just blessing her within 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The information I received was she's not safe to be a powerful leader, to be successful in business. See, her ancestor is from India. Even though she live in Canada, she still have that blueprint. That woman, we cannot be powerful. We cannot own our power. So when I heard that information, I said, Akila, this is the information I heard. Is it accurate that the woman in your family, they said you're not saved to be a leader, to be successful? She said, oh my God, how do you know that information? I said, well, I just received the information. Validate for me. Is it true or is it not? They say yes. So with that, I see the hairball in her heart with her permission to release that. I just, she released it herself with my guidance, and boom, she walk.
Wow.
She walk. It's been 3 years now. She's still walking. She even surprised her doctor.
Well, this is the thing that is truly one of my favorite quotes is by Henry Ford. And that was, I never let what I cannot do interfere with what I can do. And a lot of people go to what they can't do right away, and then they live there. And it might be a doctor making that, assertion to the patient. You'll never be able to do this, or you have this long to live, or you're going to have to, live with this the rest of your life, or whatever. And there are scores. I mean, more than we can count, stories of people who went, nope, I'm not going to accept that, and then walked again, outlived their doctor by 30 or 40 years. I mean, all sorts of things that we think of as miracles when they're not really miracles. They're just the fact. I think they're just the fact that many of us don't give ourselves enough credit, and
Yes.
to move forward. That's a really powerful story that you just shared. And an experience for people, to understand that maybe not everybody walks, because there's always going to be, well, I knew the one person who didn't, or something like that. But there's enough of those stories, or I know the one person who did. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. And also, Dr. Joe Dispenza validate that all the time in his teaching, that he helped all the terminal ill patient heal. So for me, it come back to the, I love one of my mentor. I met him in the clubhouse, Glenn Moore Shower. I love him. I respect him. And he shared a story of David when he, I guess, at Michelangelo carving David. And when people ask, how come you make that statue is so magnificent? He said, it's simple, only carving whatever belong to David. So the healing, the miracle that we validate here is the moment we return to our true essence of love, of light, and stay there, not to give into fear. We release anything that didn't belong to us. Anything is not true, whether the belief, the habit, whatever that is, our culture, generational trauma, their teaching was wrong. Just let them go, and gradually, for me, it's just heart mind unity. As long as light ignited within our heart, and our energy present return to that oneness within, we heal. It if you look into the wisdom of truth, that I would say nothing miracle as long we return to wholeness, that what who we are, wholeness and holiness.
Wow. Well, very, very, very cool. Very profound. I happen to like Dr. Joe, for the reason that he is, like many others. Um, I always share this, that when I started my work about 40 years ago, you could find a handful, literally a handful, maybe 100, 150 studies on placebo effect, on visualization, on the power of self-healing, how, how these things work together in order for people to get well. Now there's something like 40 some thousand studies, and Joe does his work, and so many people are doing work. And then there are people like Bernie Cousins, Norman Cousins, Bernie Siegel, and
Yes.
others who have helped pave the way. I just yesterday got a new book on healing, and I read a lot of them because it's so inspiring to know what is possible if you don't prevent yourself from thinking what's possible.
Yes.
and going beyond where we might stop or where otherwise we might pay attention to other people and be stopped by that. So it's truly wonderful. And as for Glenn Morshower, you have a worthy. Um, I love Glenn, and I don't know if people don't know who he is. He's an actor. Um, you'll know him from 24, the series 24. I can't think of the series he's in right now, the name of his series, but he's truly a wonderful human being because not only is an actor and a lifelong career in acting and a TV movie presence, but he gets this work and he understands it and he's about transformation. So
Yes.
he's a wonderful person. I love Glenn.
He understands the law of truth and the law of cause and effect and the law of attraction.
Right.
He lived that law all his life. So I'm always grateful to be in his presence. Yeah.
Glenn is one of the good guys. Absolutely.
Yes.
And so coming back to the steps that you do, I mean, people, what would you say that most people need to understand about their makeup? I mean, it's going to be different. You talked about past life blueprints and things like that, but what if you had to give general advice? What do most people really need to do?
Yeah. So the first thing is stop lying to ourselves. The acknowledgement, this is where my life is. It's not exactly where I want it to be. I'm suffering, whatever the suffering, whatever the blockage. I feel depressed. Like in my case, I was in toxic relationship. So the moment I acknowledging that I deserve better, I need to get out of this toxic relationship. Otherwise, my children will live this life like I am. So by me acknowledging it, the desire to have more, to heal, to be whole. So I will stop the generational suffering that my mom, my grandma, my ancestor went through. So the first step is just stop lying to ourselves. Do really true assessment of, how am I in relationship with my body, my heart, my mind, my soul, how's my finance. Just look at this space, even though when we are negative, whatever that is, when you can see it crystal clear, we can fix it. When we don't really pay attention, being true to ourselves, we kind of sleepwalking and blame on other people for our suffering. That's not a good way to live. Just being real with ourselves, that's just the first step. The desire to want to heal, to want to grow as a human being, to grow yourself, to grow your relationship, to grow your bank account, that's normal. Because as a soul reside in our human body, our journey, our soul evolution, human evolution, life always calling us to grow, to thrive, to be bigger than we were yesterday. So the moment we have the desire to be a better person, to heal, to be whole, the help is on the way. Help, even though the invisible aspect of your spirit guide, you might not see them. When you drop into stillness, meditate, and desire to get to know them, to get to know your intuition, help is showing up. And I call it divine arrangement will happen. Pay attention to say yes to life. Say yes to life. I just make the power of yes a few days ago in my Instagram. When we say yes to our calling, our healing, our heart desire to have more love, more joy, more abundance, when we say yes to it, life will arrange. The divine will, I call it divine arrangement, will arrange for that connection as we move forward. Sometimes when people have scarcity mindset, they find all kind of excuses. They would say no to their heart desire, to their calling, to be bigger version of themselves. That when they lost their power. in that space, their heart mind separation and they misalign with their intuition. Sometimes they hear the ego voice and mistake that for the voice of our higher self and our true our soul. So that is a very essential of healing, knowing where you are at the moment, have the desire to change and say yes to life. And then from there, listen to your intuition. Whatever the the wisdom, the whisper from within telling you, trust that. Have trust, have faith within your intuition and take action. Take inspired action. Your life will forever change. That is where I would suggest people start.
That's really beautiful. That's truly beautiful. I'm a huge fan of procrastination. In that, people ought to put off having their problems for another day and do the things that they can do today that make their life that much better. And you've given some really helpful advice. And we haven't said it yet, but we want to wish everybody an upcoming happy New Year. It's the Western New Year coming up, and around this time, there's been Hanukkah and Christmas. There's Kwanzaa and a whole host of other holidays, and some people get themselves into a funk around the holidays. They spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, they uh, have those less than glorious moments. And then there are those who kind of live that way uh, for a week, a month, a year, or 5, 10 years, where they just seem to be in this spiral or in this mire that they can't get out of. And you've just given some really helpful steps for people to begin to release that. But it would be fair to say that they need to do something. They need to start
Yes.
something right away. What would be the of the steps that you've spoken of, or not? What would be the best best thing a person could do? I guess is and again, we're not dealing with individuals. We're
Yeah.
talking about general advice, but
So
so if somebody's really stressed, financially, physically, mentally, I mean, they're just at the end of their rope. What can they do? Because some people say, well, meditate, but if they've never.
no, the depends. Depends. Let talk about money aspect. Let talk about money.
Okay, yeah, because it's a huge issue for so many people.
So because we were trained with the wrong money mindset, where I come from, we believe in Buddhism. We well, it might be changed by now. When I was growing up, most of my family members would say money is evil, money is dirty, it caused a breakup of family, it caused fighting and jealousy. So that's the wrong money mindset. If we can shift that mindset, because this is my wisdom, if you resonate with it, take this. If not, just let it go. Because when I serve my clients, my student with love, with honesty, with compassion, with dignity, when they pay the money for my service. So the energy coming in, I accept it in the same frequency with love, with generosity, with kindness, with integrity. So money, I reverse that instead of fear, jealousy, anger. I reverse that money is love. Because as I serve with love, the money come to me in the same frequency. So when I shift that energy mindset of money is love, I learn to love and respect money. If you think in this way, if money is a human being, if money had a soul, how would you treat that? So from that place of shift your mindset, let go, forgive yourself for buying in the money is evil, money is negative, let it go. You can shift over to money is love, whatever that you do. In your gift that you serve, money come. Allow it in the frequency of love. And then wherever you are now, knowing your numbers, Even though it's negative, you need to write down wherever that you negative. Just see the number. When you see in true that negative, you have now the desire to make it to positive. So the first thing to do is to know your gift. How can you use your gift and be humble to ask people to pay for the gift, the service that you do. Whatever that is, it didn't matter. It could be some jewelry, some books, some clothes, whatever that you don't need. You can sell that, liquidate that to have a little money to take care of your needs, whatever your needs are. If you are coaches and healer, create a small package and sell to other people. We need to be humble in that space of asking for help, because the asking for help, it took me a long time. As my ancestor, they passed on the wrong meaning of asking. My grandma, from my dad's side, she said, when I receive something, it will be burden that I have to pay for many lifetime. When I was a child, I believe in that. It burdened me to ask for help. As I heal my own heart, I know that teaching was wrong. I have to let go of that. Forgive grandma, forgive myself, because I learned this a new wisdom from my friend. One day, he wanted me to buy a bowl of soup. He wanted to pay. I said, no, brother, I can pay for myself. He said, sister, this is a gift I give to you. You must receive the gift in order to complete the circle of give and received. If you deny my gift to you, this circle of give and receive will be broken. All I want you to do is just receive this gift, and then the next time you see somebody that in need of whatever that is, you give it forward to complete the circle of give and take. Because when we deny the giver the joy of giving, we cause negative karma. So that's how I learned to be humbly receive, asking for help. That was my healing in my finance, in my relationship, in my business. So that's what I have to share for now. Thank
Wow.
you very much for that question, Rex.
Well, it's beautiful, and what a beautiful response to that. And since we were talking about finances in the way that we were, um, I would argue, I believe with you, in that it's not just finances; it's every aspect of your life. You can forgive
Yes,
yourself and forgive other people. You can forgive the circumstances in which you're brought up, your past lives, whatever it is that you can forgive and let go of, and live free when you understand that you can do that. Well, a lot of people don't yet understand that they can transform their mind, their heart, their behaviors, their finances, their spirit, everything, or they don't give themselves permission to. On the other hand, they're still hanging on to something. So, but that's truly beautiful because in the ability for us to transform shouldn't be lost on us. And yet, so many people think that they can't change. Like they want to change, but they can't, and they want to do this, but they can't. And I would agree. I mean, there are habits that need to be overcome, and habits of thought, and habits of practice, you know. But they can very much
yes,
transform.
yes, they can. I'm grateful that you brought up the aspect of permission and forgive. Forgive Forgive is a powerful process. This is how I define forgive. Forgiving ourselves, forgiving each other. It works like a sweet rain. When we forgive, we bathe into that golden light, divine light, that we clear everything in our past. So now we can create the new identity in forgiveness. And the love I shared earlier about the finance, you bring love in all level of your being. Love yourself, love all aspect of yourself. Even the weakness that, part of us, the wounded healer, we must love our shadow also. and also love our strength. Bring love into our beingness. And from that space, you will heal. You will heal most of the issue and replace it with gratitude. Replace it with, this is the soul lessons that my ancestor given to me. So now I'll take these lessons and see how can I make it better for myself and for my children, grandchildren, and also for humanity. Because I believe each one of us come with our divine blueprint. We have greatness within our highest heart. The moment we return to love by loving ourselves and embody that perfection, the divine perfect blueprint that in our higher heart, rediscover that. Discover that whatever our gift is, our calling is, say yes to it and practice the gratitude.
I love this. I truly do. And we could go on again and talk for days, but I know that you have a kind of a hard break coming up as well that you have to get to somebody. But I would offer what you said, to love the finances, love your situation, love the people, even if they're a problem. There's that notion, that energy flows where your attention goes. So if your attention goes to
Yes.
hatred and to fear and to doubt and to worry and to anxiety, then that's what we get more of. But if our attention goes to love and forgiveness and compassion and understanding and acceptance, then that's what we can have more of. And yet, people still in this day and age, you would think we'd know that by now, but people in this day and age still need to get the lessons, and to hear it from multiple sources, from yourself and from other people, um, so that they can let go, so that they can understand that they do deserve the best in life and the best relationships and the best finances and the best love. So I really appreciate that. And I hope that people will get in touch with you. And is there anything else that you would like them to know about doing that, or anything else you'd like to know before we have to say goodbye? And we wish everybody a happy new year at the same time. So
Yeah. I want them to know is just to have one practice when you walk away from this conversation today, this interview. When you spend $1, $500, $10,000, release it with the expectations. I'll make room to receive more. Bless the money as it leave your hand and expect that, because when you move the money, energy of money, you create the vortex to receive. So practice that. When you receive money, give thanks to it. When you give money, you pay money, give thanks to it. So that's the one practice that you can embrace. What I want to invite the audience is, when you go to kimleyhealer.com, if you're ready to heal your heart, to really clearing the generational trauma and karma, you can book the 30 minutes Heal Your Heart breakthrough session or up level of your life. It's a free session that where it's a gift I give to you. There's limited of space. So that's something you can do right there. So thank you. Thank you, Rack. I'm so grateful to be here with you.
I'm so
Thank
glad
you
that
so much.
I'm so glad that you're here, and I wish we had more time, and we can do this again next year sometime. But the you've added so much value to all of us who are listening and watching. Um, I know that I've had a tendency in my life that when money is lean or we're short of cash, that as I spend money, I want to try and tighten my belt. I want to try and
Mm,
go, there's not a lot of where this came from, so I better be careful I don't run out.
yeah,
I'm not
yes.
saying that we should just
Change that.
right, but I mean it's the mindset to change that. Going, you know what? I'm spending this money, and I love money, and it's coming back to me, and I'm making room for more. That attitude makes a huge difference if you feel prosperous, even if you're not visibly prosperous yet. It
Not
starts here.
yet.
It starts here.
Yes, it starts from our affirmation, because see, the universe responds to our energy frequency. when we are in the expansiveness of our soul, our being, we are in love, we are happy, we are joyful. You see, magic happen in that higher frequency. The moment we drop from that resonance, we go into scarcity, into fear, into doubt, and all that. Our ego took over, our heart closed, we don't have room to receive. So practice, just spend a little $1 something, or go around, look at what you have, and feel abundance, feel joyful for what you already have. And then from that frequency, that's how we manifest, miracle magic in our life.
That is truly, truly wonderful. Well, you have been fabulous. Let's wish everybody a happy new year. Happy New
New Year, everyone. Thank you very much for being here with us. We appreciate you.
And we're going to be back. Kim is going to go, but I'll be back, and we'll be back next year. Of course, we've got a full January of every Thursday. But I want to say to Kim, congratulations to your son and to your children and to your daughter.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you were able to share that and share this time with us. And I love you, and thank you for being here. The world's a better place.
I love you too. I love you all, everyone. Wishing you magical 2022, healthy, happy, and prosper 2022. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So we're going to say goodbye to Kim for now. And I want to thank you for being here and to know that we do have a full January coming up. I wanted to say thank you. My daughter was here. That is so cool. And so love to my daughter, Sydney, and to my son, Jordan, both amazing gifts to me and to the world. So that was a thrill. And I want to also be sure to tell you, I've got a couple of things that I need to do before we close out, but we've got a full slate of people, off into the first quarter of the year coming up. So, stay tuned every Thursday at this time, 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, and wherever else it is around the world. You have to figure that out. I'm sorry, because I don't know all the time zones. If you enjoyed this show, please do continue to comment. Please do like it wherever you find it. We're on the Tribune, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, and the Roku channel. It should be streaming from my Facebook page and my LinkedIn page today. I'm not sure what's going on. I've gotten some, check messages behind here about some issues and problems and all that kind of stuff. And it's just kind of par for the course. It's all good. I'm very grateful to the Los Angeles Tribune for providing the space for us to have this show and for me to reach out to you in that regard. I also want to tell you about an offer that I have for you. And so we'll get the website up here. If you go to rexsikes.com book, for all those people who have purchased my book, I'm the author of Life on Your Terms, Create the Life That You Want. If you have that book, if you purchase it from Amazon and you already have it, or even if you don't, if you go to rexsikes.com/book, which you can see scrolling below, you can get to Amazon, purchase the book. For a $20 book, you get a $497 bonus training on mastery, on how to make these, you make your mindset, your feelings, your emotions, your words, your behaviors, your results, your finances work for you so that you can celebrate more of life. So it's how do you create your best life ever? And I want to thank all the people who read it, who rate it and review it at Amazon, and who have sent me photos of them with the book. I mean, that's truly, truly a treat. And so I appreciate and love all of you. Remember that I always say this in closing. Again, Happy New Year. But if you consider everything a blessing, everything is a blessing. So go ahead and celebrate everything. With that, I'm Rex Sikes. We'll see you in the new year.